semester, not by the number of days, but by the number of times that I did or didn't cry. By the number of times that I could or couldn't sleep. By the number of times that I had to go home. Something was wrong with me, and I knew this. A few sessions later, after some counseling, I was diagnosed with being overtly stressed. I had an excessive amount of stress. Listed above on the screen are some of the symptoms that I had. These are also listed as symptoms of severe stress in the American Institute of Stress. These include nightmares, difficulty concentrating, forgetfulness, difficulty in making decisions, feeling overwhelmed, having frequent crying spells, and loneliness. I had terrible frequent crying spells to the point where I was crying so loud in the hall one time in my dorm that this one girl had to come out from her room and she hugged me, and I didn't even know who she was. But that's how bad it was for me. And it went on for every day for 2 months, so halfway into the semester. There are times like these that I'm sure all of you at one point have felt stressed, to the point where you think to yourself, help me, I'm stressed. Stress is becoming one of the biggest issues in our country today. It is specifically most important towards our generation, and I'm here to discuss with you all today the importance that stress has taken on our generation on a physical and mental scale. Listed here is a chart from the American Psychological Association. It's depicting the stress levels, the blue bars, the one of adolescents today, and the green bar is depicting the levels of stress for adults. As you can see, the dashed line is used to represent where the APA is expecting us to fall in terms of stress. We exceed it. We exceed the level or the standard that they think we are supposed to be at, to the point where we even beat adults, the generation before us. Adolescents of our day today are so stressed at such a young age that it is becoming detrimental, and it is a problem. The Huffington Post has branded our generation, Generation Y, or the millennials, as the most stressed out generation of all American history. This is mind-boggling to all of them because there's such this new proclaimed statement like, how can we be the most stressed out generation? How come children, students, adolescents are developing such an affinity and proclivity towards becoming stressed rather than the generations before us? To convey this message even more, here's another study by the APA, the American Psychological Association. These are the 4 most prevalent generations within our time today, from the millennials, Generation X, which include our parents, the baby boomer age, and the mature generation. The leading generation with stress is Generation X, with 69%. But shortly following suit is our generation of the millennials, or Generation Y. We only fall short from them by 8%. The level of achieving relaxation and stress for Generation X is only higher than ours by a difference of 2%. Stress is becoming a newfound disease and a new issue within our society today. As I mentioned earlier, it impacts us on both the physical and mental level. There are 5 most prevalent effects that stress has on our physical well-being. The first of which is hypertension. For those of you who don't know what hypertension means, it essentially means high levels of blood pressure. Second of which is cardiac arrest, heart attacks. Third, heart disease. Fourth, diabetes. And fifth, other chronic illnesses. These are all diseases that have been factored in, stemming from stress, most prevalent in our generation, according to Time magazine. One of the biggest effects that stress has, though, is on our mental well-being in terms of depression, primarily. Stress is not beneficial to us because it can trigger mental diseases such as depression, but also trigger other consequences because of depression. We can feel overwhelmed, lack of interest in things we once enjoyed, a sense of worthlessness, have frequent crying spells, and even feel lonely in spite of the fact that we're social people and we hang out with other people. These are much of the symptoms that I myself experienced and went through. But why does it matter? What can we do? Stress is inevitable. We see stress stress. We're surrounded by it all the time with our schoolwork, with regular work, with family, with friends. What can we do? The solution is simple, and it's 2 words. We need to chill out. According to PhD psychologist Norman B. Anderson, America is the #1 leading country in stress. Our generation is feared to have the highest level of stress, according to the data before and according to himself. The reason that we are so stressed is because our generation is on a consistent basis to be productive. And we have so many other factors in our day and age that are contributing to our stress. Because we are students, we now have to compete on a global level. We don't have to compete with students who are just next to us within the country anymore. We have to find jobs. Jobs are scarce nowadays. We're not in the best economical state. We have a lot of governmental issues now being put on our generation. All of these issues are surrounding us and are causing stress on us, and we need to chill out according to this psychologist. So what I advise you to do today, as students, as regular individuals, relax. You guys deserve it. Make time for yourselves, according to whatever schedule you have, whether it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour. It's inexcusable. Make time for yourself, and in that time, drop everything. I'm not saying neglect your duties or your responsibilities, but for that golden period, do something you enjoy. Watch a favorite movie of yours. Watch Vines, if you guys heard of that. Go watch TED Talks, hang out with friends, exercise, go to the gym, or do what I do. I go with a couple of my friends and we look at pickup lines and we use them on people that we don't know. Chill out. You need it for your sanity, for yourself. You owe it to yourself. Today we are known as the most stressed out generation of all American history. But unless we take the steps to make time for ourselves,